Out Team USA and the roster because a social media post went out there and it's actually caused some controversy. While I'm like, really? This is controversial? This is the take? And then I saw some of the choices that some fans are making out there where you can tell there's blatant.
What happens when a single social media post from a sports governing body ignites a spark that spreads across the entire internet? It turns into a story of a glaring omission, an angry fan base, and a question nobody seems able to answer. Why would you bench your biggest star when the whole goal is to promote the game? This is the story of USA Basketball's now infamous training camp graphic, a post that somehow united fans in confusion and outrage. The organization announced an 18-player roster loaded with some of the most talked-about names in basketball. From established Olympians to sensational newcomers like Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, and Angel Reese. All scheduled to attend a crucial training camp from December 12th to 14th in Durham, North Carolina. Yet the promotional graphic displayed only 3 faces: Kalia Copper, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. The immediate and emotional reaction from the online world made it clear this was far more than a simple mistake. It was a serious miscalculation. If you think this is only about a picture, then you're missing the real story. Stick around, because the truth behind this controversy will change how you view the business of basketball forever.
Finally going to emerge in a competitive setting in a training camp that they're going to have right here. Let me just give you the specifics. Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark hinted that she would participate in Team USA basketball activities during the WNBA offseason, following the conclusion of her team's 2025 campaign. Initially, the thought was she was referring to USA basketball training camp in early March 2026, which is a precursor to the 2026 FIBA World Cup qualifying.
And before we go further, if you care about the stories that shape sports, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It truly helps the channel grow. This camp, to be led by new national team head coach Kara Lawson, is a key evaluation opportunity for managing director Sue Bird as she works to build a roster for the 2026 FIBA World Cup. The roster itself is a fascinating mix of generations, featuring 10 players, including Clark, Reese, and USC's Juju Watkins, who will be making their senior national team camp debuts alongside Olympic gold medalists and other seasoned veterans. This blend of youth and experience made the choice of imagery even more confusing. The graphic, by focusing on a select few, failed to visually represent the exciting transitional phase Team USA is entering. A phase that has captured the imagination of a new generation of fans. The backlash was instant and harsh. Fans flooded social media with comments showing their disbelief, unable to grasp the logic behind the snub. But this wasn't just fan frustration. It was a major glitch in the entire sports marketing system. Why exclude the one player guaranteed to produce the most clicks, the most views, and the most engagement? It was a move so counterintuitive it almost seemed deliberate. And that's when top sports analysts began weighing in.
Mark over Chelsea Gray in competitive basketball? Question mark. Some dude says, suggesting the veteran guard Chelsea Gray deserves a starting role over Caitlin Clark. Look, I've only been locked in for a couple of years. There's not a world where I'm starting Gray over Caitlin Clark. Not a galaxy far, far away. Nowhere. Caitlin Clark over Chelsea Gray in competitive basketball? Question mark. 127 times out of 10. Yeah, easy.
Christine Brennan, a respected sports columnist and author of a book on Clark, didn't hold back. She called out USA Basketball for a massive strategic mistake. She wrote, and I quote, "This is so interesting. If USA Basketball really wants to go all out promoting WBB, bringing new fans in, and gaining unprecedented attention for a team that dropped in TV viewership at the Paris Olympics, they would have added a photo of one other player to this graphic." But no, Brennan, with over 40 years of experience covering Olympic sports, pointed out that a national governing body has 2 missions: to win medals, but also to grow the sport. And in this instance, she accused USA Basketball of completely failing the second part of that mission. Online, the reaction echoed Brennan's words. Fans blasted the move as a failure of basic marketing, with one fan on X bluntly highlighting the absurdity of leaving out the most popular female athlete on the planet from the main visual of this team.
On this team, I don't know how this is even a debate. This post got put up as a potential, starting five. All right, Caitlin Clark at point guard, Kaylee Copper, Jackie Young, Derica Hamby, and Aaliyah Boston. And then, of course, these are the reserves on the team, right? And, my God, the Paige Bueckers supporters, of course. And I don't want to throw Angel supporters in this because I've seen a lot of actually put Angel and Caitlin on the...
The digital town square was united in its confusion, viewing the post not as a celebration of champions but as a deliberate act of exclusion. Now, at this point, you might assume there's a simple explanation. And on the surface, there is. The three players shown on the graphic, Copper, Plum, and Young, all share one thing Caitlin Clark doesn't. They were members of the U.S. team that won the gold medal at the Paris Olympics. From a traditional standpoint, it makes sense to highlight your proven champions, your established veterans who have succeeded on the global stage. But that's where things get complicated, because this isn't the first time Clark's name has been at the center of a Team USA controversy.
And I don't want to throw Angel supporters in this because I've seen a lot of actually put Angel and Caitlin on the court at the same time, but somehow this got labeled as rage bait. And I'm not sure how this is controversial, but here we go with some of the dumbass takes that came out of this, right? It's got over 200,000 views on it now. Paige, okay. Young, Copper, Cameron Brent, really? After being injured like that?
Remember the 2024 Paris Olympics? One of the biggest storylines leading up to the games wasn't just about who made the roster, it was about who didn't. Caitlin Clark, the #1 draft pick and a national sensation, was left off the team. That decision sparked outrage from her massive new fan base, with some even calling for a boycott of the Olympic basketball events. This created a dangerous dynamic where supporting a single athlete suddenly felt like taking a stance against the entire team. It exposed a major downside of the so-called Caitlin Clark effect. The risk of a fan base rallying so fiercely behind one player that they overlook the rest of the league's incredible talent. That earlier controversy cast a long shadow, making this new graphic feel less like a harmless nod to veterans and more like part of a continuing pattern of hesitation to embrace the sport's new reality.
There's only one point guard, and she plays in Indiana. Stop it. And then you have the other thing, the do you want to grow women's basketball, the popularity of it or not? And Team USA, and do you want the ratings and all that other stuff? And Caitlin Clark's obviously going to bring all of that, right? And you can't use this as an excuse. I mean, there was word out there that the committee, when they left her off the 2024 team, were scared to put her on the team because if she didn't play enough, they didn't want to have to hear about it.
But the argument that this training camp graphic is simply about honoring past Olympic accomplishments doesn't hold up to basic scrutiny. This camp is about the future, specifically building the roster for the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup. On top of that, Clark is coming off a season where a groin injury forced her to miss most of the WNBA playoffs. This December training camp marks her highly anticipated return to a competitive environment. And if you're trying to generate excitement for your future team, why wouldn't you highlight the player whose comeback is one of the most compelling storylines in all of sports? It's a baffling decision that feels like a massive missed opportunity. The camp is explicitly an evaluation event for what's ahead. And the roster includes young debut talent like Juju Watkins, who, it's important to note, will not even participate on the court as she recovers from an ACL injury but is attending to learn and integrate into the program.
Injured and this and that and the other, and I'm not talking about far as the poster goes. I mean, just literally having been put on the team right now, just a question, if Juju is still recovering from an ACL, how can she be part of this? Surely she can't play. Yes, she can attend, but if she takes to the floor, she surely risks serious injury. Well, they all risk injury in playing in this. It is what it is. Now, a lot of people are bringing up people that aren't even in this. I mean, Asia...
This context makes the decision to spotlight only the established past instead of the rapidly emerging future even more strategically confusing. They're promoting a camp centered on new talent without visually highlighting the most prominent new talent of all. Some have suggested that maybe Clark's own camp requested a lower profile as she returns from injury. But that theory feels flimsy, a desperate attempt to rationalize an irrational situation. The truth is, this episode fits a pattern many observers have been pointing out for quite some time now. There appears to be a hesitation, if not an outright unwillingness, from certain corners of the basketball world to fully embrace the marketing power of Caitlin Clark.
WNBA old guard that's trying to desperately hold on. No. I mean, y'all, I don't know if you old WNBA fans understand this. Y'all are getting voted off the island. That's happening right now. We're yeah. The actual real sports fans have shown up. Peace.
It's as if they've been handed a golden ticket and are afraid to use it. One article even highlighted the absurdity, stating, "It certainly seems like the biggest basketball star in the WNBA should be included." This isn't just about one social media post. It feels like a symptom of a larger cultural tension within the sport. The WNBA itself stands on the edge of major transformation, with a new collective bargaining agreement approaching, promising franchise expansion, higher salaries, and improved player benefits. This is a league evolving, though sometimes slowly, to meet new commercial and fan expectations. Against this backdrop of progress, USA Basketball's seemingly old-school approach to promotion feels outdated. A disconnect between institutional protocols and modern market dynamics. And that leads us to the heart of the issue. This debate is far more than a reaction to a graphic. It represents a fundamental clash between two eras of sport. On one side are traditionalists who believe hierarchy should be determined purely by past accomplishments and seniority. On the other is a new generation of fans and analysts who understand that in today's media ecosystem, star power is a currency and engagement is the ultimate metric. By refusing to adapt, USA Basketball isn't merely sidelining a single player, they're ignoring the massive economic impact she represents. The force that has sold out arenas and broken television records for 2 consecutive years. And this tension isn't exclusive to basketball. It's being felt across industries as new waves of fans, drawn by compelling personalities and accessible narratives, operate under a different engagement model than traditionalists who value tenure and established hierarchies. For the sport to continue growing, these two perspectives must converge, honoring the legends who built the foundation while intentionally elevating the stars leading it forward. Ignoring either side invites stagnation. The conversation surrounding this graphic exposes a critical question for the leaders of women's basketball. Do you genuinely want to grow the game, or do you want to control how that growth happens? The evidence is overwhelming. Games featuring Caitlin Clark have been the most watched events of the WNBA season, drawing millions. To overlook that influence isn't just controversial, it's a failure of leadership and a neglect of the responsibility to promote the sport to its highest potential. As one frustrated fan joked, nothing says WNBA like a poster featuring, who are these players again? This sarcasm cuts to the core of the matter. In choosing to honor a specific kind of achievement, the organization risks making its product seem less relevant to the broader audience it desperately needs. Growing the game requires more than just winning gold medals. It requires winning attention in a crowded sports marketplace. And in that environment, marketable stars are the most valuable currency any league or federation can possess. So what's the endgame? The training camp will proceed in December, with or without Clark on the promotional artwork. But the impact of this controversy will linger. It signals to new fans, the ones buying tickets and driving ratings, that their interest is not fully valued. It signals to the superstar who has elevated the sport's visibility more than anyone in a generation that her presence is conditional. And it signals to the world that even when given a modern marketing miracle, some organizations would rather cling to an outdated playbook, even at the cost of losing ground. The long-term risk for USA basketball is a slow erosion of credibility and relevance among the next generation of sports fans. If the goal is to build a thriving, high-profile national team program ahead of the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, then aligning marketing and roster strategies with the undeniable forces driving the sport is not optional, it's essential. Failing to do so may leave them trailing behind the very growth wave they're hoping to ride. This isn't just a PR misstep. It's a strategic turning point. Decisions made right now during this period of transition will define the organization's relationship with its audience for the next decade. Will they be viewed as a forward-thinking institution that successfully balances its legacy with the star power fueling its future? Or will they be seen as an organization rigidly clinging to an insular model, prioritizing internal hierarchies over external engagement? The financial and cultural stakes couldn't be higher. Sponsors and broadcast partners invest in reach and narrative, and by visually sidelining the athlete with the largest platform, USA Basketball unintentionally signals a baffling lack of faith in its own most valuable promotional asset. This moment calls for more than just selecting a roster. It requires a comprehensive strategy that understands that the modern sports ecosystem is driven as much by storytelling and star power as by pure athletic excellence. The two are not opposites. In today's world, they are inseparable. The end game, ultimately, is survival in a new era. It's about understanding that the how and why behind your promotional decisions matter as much as the who on your final roster. So what do you think? Was USA Basketball right to spotlight its gold medalists, honoring a tradition of rewarding proven veterans on the biggest stage? Or was this a massive marketing blunder, a tone-deaf misstep that ignored the realities of today's sports landscape and alienated a powerful segment of its audience? This is the core of the online debate. On one side, people argue that respecting the athletes who have sacrificed and delivered under pressure is vital, and that team culture requires valuing those who have worn the jersey before. On the other side, many believe that leadership demands adaptability, and that a promotional graphic for a future-focused evaluation camp is exactly where the new wave of talent should be showcased to generate excitement. This conversation isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about what it signals for the inclusion of all the debutantes, from Angel Reese to Cameron Brink, whose fresh rivalries and dynamic styles have captured national attention. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Do you think this was a simple, reasonable decision blown out of proportion by online outrage? Or do you view it as a symbolic failure to move toward a more inclusive and commercially aware future? The discussion is healthy for the sport, but how the organization responds will be even more telling. And if you want to stay informed on the stories shaping the sports world, from the boardrooms to the locker rooms, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next analysis. We break down the drama, the business, and the brilliance that define modern athletics. Thanks for watching.